I know everyone has, even once in their life, seen a prank video. It can be a non-violent, non-destructive one, or a very bad one. But this TikTok prankster did something so horrible that now he is not allowed to leave his home after 7 p.m. Yeah, that is now the level of pranks we have gone to. People are now getting arrested just for some views. Is getting famous that important now? Anyway, if you're not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button to get notified of all the crazy stories from around the internet. Now, let's get back to the story. So, a 19-year-old man from Texas assaulted two men in broad daylight in Warden Park. These two men were just taking a walk and were assaulted by the TikToker from behind. Completely unsuspected and unprovoked, this TikToker punched them in the back of their head, recording all of that and later posting it on social media.
Shocking video of attacks yesterday at Wortham Park in Northwest Harris County.
I can't imagine the horror of just going in for a walk and getting punched in the back of the head. Now that guy was tiny and skinny and he could have been absolutely battered by the man he assaulted, but he might be carrying a weapon. That's why it's dangerous to get into a street fight with a random stranger. They might carry weapons that could harm you no matter how strong you're built. They did the right job by not attacking him back. But this kind of behavior is absolutely unacceptable. Here are some of the reactions of that video.
It's not cool to just come up to someone and just punch them in their head for no reason. Come on now.
I just think that it's terrible. It's just the wrong attention.
What he thought would be a banger video ended up becoming his greatest downfall. I mean, how can anyone think that this would be a good idea? Let's go to a park and punch someone in the back of the head. How stupid do you have to be to think like that? Even his friend or whoever was behind the camera thought that this would get them millions of views. The one thing every criminal wants is to commit the perfect crime, one which everyone hears about but no one could find out who did it. But this guy was the complete opposite. Everyone saw that alright, but everyone also knew who did it. Later, the feds were called and an investigation was launched. The TikToker came out and admitted that he was the one in the video, and he was the one who assaulted those men. This is what he had to say.
Wreaking havoc. In a text, he wrote, quote, "It was a prank. I had no problem with the man. I wasn't trying to hurt him. I was just hanging out with my friend and we did a TikTok. And so, yeah, I didn't mean to harm anybody."
It's just disgusting. I wasn't trying to hurt anybody. What? The guy sucker punched someone and he wasn't trying to hurt anyone? What did he think was gonna happen? He would punch him and the man would get an orgasm? I didn't mean to harm anybody. I think he was high when he said all that. If you punch someone with that kind of force, you meant to hurt that man. This clip also shows that he had a gun with him when he attacked the two men.
The video shows a gun in Lewis's pocket.
Carrying a gun in a park and attacking someone, that kid is a menace. Also, when one of the men tried to reason with the TikToker and asked him why he was doing this, the TikToker just laughed and walked away. But there is a happy ending here. As soon as the feds were called, an investigation started and they were able to catch the TikToker. He came out admitting to the charge and is now serving his punishment. The punishment he received is not good enough in my opinion. He is 19, so he should have been locked up. But nonetheless, he was found guilty.
A 19-year-old who was seen on video randomly punching people in Wortham Park is now facing charges. This video was first shared with KHOU 11 via the Nextdoor app. It shows Alfred Lewis striking a man in the head before he turns around in shock. Now Lewis is facing charges for aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon and also assault. Lewis is not in custody right now, but there are warrants out for his arrest.
The prosecution asked for a $75,000 bond for one of the two cases he was charged with, but ended up with a combined bond of $10,000.
Well, prosecutors requested a $75,000 bond on just one of two charges this young man faces, but he ended up getting a combined bond of $10,100. Now, 19-year-old Alfred Lewis appeared in court just within the last half hour or so.
If this seems pretty low for such a serious crime, then it is. It is a very low amount for such a crime. $10,000 is a lot, but not for a criminal assault. The court realized that, and when the prosecution appealed, it was increased again.
Yeah, today in court, prosecutors said what 19-year-old Alfred Lewis admitted to doing was unacceptable and dangerous and asked the judge to raise his initial $10,000 bond to $30,000, and the judge agreed.
We take these cases extremely seriously at the district attorney's office, and in this case, the facts were particularly troubling. These boys were out at a park where people enjoy outdoors, are exercising, and shouldn't expect to run into any kind of trouble.
When I first read through the story, I was shocked at why anyone would do something like that. But later, when I got to know that he was a TikToker and did all of that just for some views, I realized that this was another one of those kids who would do anything for 2 minutes of fame. It's amazing how often we are seeing this kind of stunts being performed. Someone setting their car on fire, while others riding trains illegally. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out these two videos. Link will be down in the description. But that does mean more content for me. That's the only silver lining I could find. There are simply no other benefits of these stunts. Kids seeing this would be influenced by it and they may try to replicate it. And that's mainly because of all the amounts of views these kinds of videos get. They get millions of views and someone somewhere thinks like, oh, my daily content hardly gets any views. Let me try something like this. And when he or she gets the views, they do them more and more, with each time raising the bar for the stunts higher and higher. I remember that there were TikTok prank videos where the TikToker would just go up to a couple and ask for the girl's number. That was bad and cringy, but still harmless to some extent. Even if I did not like any of them, they would still be recommended to me. That's because many of the people enjoy them and the platform pushes it more and more, even to people who don't enjoy them. This way they get more views, but I can't fault the platforms here either. I recently read the amount of TikToks that get uploaded every day and I was shocked. My mind was blown away by that number. So trying to moderate all of them would be very hard. The platforms are meant to keep the users on it for as long as they can. And what better way to do it by pushing the famous videos, be it this kind of dangerous ones or something else. Anyway, I went on a little too long there. The police are still on the hunt for the cameraman who filmed all of this. He is also charged with the same crimes. He is currently not found. So that's the story of the TikTok prankster who went a little too far and it went horribly wrong. TikTok, where people would do some weird things for views. Anyway, if you enjoyed this story and want to hear more, hit that like and subscribe button. It helps me out a lot. Also, you can check some of my other videos as well. See you in the next one.